right, we're back. So, I changed this to simply log how long the thing was taking. The thing being getting the result of from the navigation agent. This value is going to be kind of large. Let's change this into I think I want to divide this a little bit. First of all, let's just stop the game. When we are looking at this, it's in milliseconds. I think also this is cool, actually. I wish I could figure out what I need to do to use the monitor like this, because it automatically translated it ending in _usec to be use the whatever the Greek letter is for that. That's neat. To actually do this, I would need to let's see, hold on one second. So what did the docs say here? Adds a custom monitor with the name param ID. You can specify a category using / delimiters. Default category is custom. And then the debugger calls the callable to get the value of custom monitor. The callable must return a 0, a positive integer, or floating point number. So I mean, ultimately the issue is what? Well, there's a bunch of enemies, right? Each enemy... Right, so if there was just one enemy, this would work. But the thing is that it's the accumulation of the times across all the enemies that are probably the issue. To really do this, what I probably need to do is I need to I guess I could have this monitor somewhere else, and what this would do is it would iterate over all the enemies and add the next path position duration usec, and that would give me the sum of how long they took for all the enemies that exist each time the monitor is checked. I could do that. Where would I do that? Maybe in the enemy spawner? Right, because this is what's responsible for creating the enemies on the map. Sort of. Okay, find random spawn position. Add child enemy. Current enemies that appends. Yeah. Yeah, we could do this here. So what we're going to do is we are going to say var total for enemy and current enemies. If the is enemy is unnecessary, just add it and then return. In this case, I will remove that debug line that I had added. There we go. So now, so what's happening, essentially what this did was that whichever enemy, I guess, spawned first, we were getting how long that section of code was taking for that one enemy, and then we couldn't add any other monitors. But this should be the sum of how long next path position takes across all the enemies. So let's try this. And there's our custom monitor. So this suggests this is not the problem. I mean, it is climbing in the same way, but this is like orders of magnitude difference, right? Because this is milliseconds and this is microseconds. So process time, physics time, frame time is 190 milliseconds. Let's pause. So it is the script function that's being called a lot. Hey, Marty. Hello. How's it going? Good evening. We are doing some stress testing of the game, as it were. So, I guess a thing to think about is that sure, it's not a lot of time, but if we're invoking it, so what this doesn't account for is that the number of times this is invoked, which is a factor of both how many times we're calling physics process and the number of agents, the number of enemies there are. So I'm just noticing that, like, calls here versus other things. I guess if another way of accomplishing what I've just did, like if we take all of this out, let's roll all of that back and then remove the performance monitor from enemy spawner. I'll go back to the enemy. Right, because we're already getting details based on the function, right? If you look at the profiler, like here's our custom function attack target. So instead of trying to add a monitor, what we could do is move some of these things to a different function, so that we get separate lines in the profiling for them. How would we do that? So interesting here. If we're saying if this then return, then why don't we just say else? And then it makes it much clearer that, hey, we always do move and slide in either of these situations. So let's just move that to the end. do we want to just take this and move this into a separate function? Refactor. Oh, we don't have a extract refactor. Okay. Let's just call this something. Update navigation. Sure. Should be fine. And let's rerun. Now, as more and more stuff spawns in, we get into 200 enemies, things will get slower. Like we're not being able to keep up with our target frame rate here. So let's go ahead and pause this so we can take a look at what's going on. So in our custom functions, so interesting. So here's physics process. This is again the physics process in the enemy. But update navigation is down there. It's not really contributing a lot to the time that we're taking. Interesting. Base enemy GD line 221. Just making sure that we're in here. Is this slow, or is it just move and slide? Is it just physics? Maybe it is. Let's see. Let's do we need this here? Do not query when the map is never synchronized and is empty. I don't know. Easiest thing to do though is we'll just like check ready. If you don't know, measure. I should at some point figure out how to keep the zombies from spawning weirdly. All right, we are at 200. And things are not going well. All right, so yeah, check ready is called, but it's negligible. So it's not that, and it's not update navigation. It is move and slide. So I'm gonna this is an I'm just gonna undo that last thing, so we determine this is not a source of slowness. I'll keep update navigation as a separate thing. It's kind of nicer that way. If we just if we're just like don't move, I imagine this is gonna make the performance much better. right? If we turn on our FPS monitor as well. I mean, it does affect FPS, but not as substantially. Right, so we still, with 200 zombies, we're getting we're getting 40 something FPS. And if we pause the game, FPS goes up, unsurprisingly. All right, cool. Okay, frame time is mostly process time here. From what? Just all the nodes? Is this... Let's also start the visual profiler. And... start. We'll get us to 200 and see if there's anything on this side for rendering. Just to be thorough. So it looks like we're at 200. And no, I mean, besides a little spike there, we're fine. We're well under our threshold for being able to get stuff done per frame. Is there a way to... I guess not. What's going on in the debugger over here? Errors. I think I should sort out what's going on with... Oh, these are probably to do with the profiling. Just ignore that. Okay, so if we look at... oh, I can zoom in. Nice. So we can pick a place here where things are kind of slow. So script functions 7 milliseconds. And again, we have our budget is 16 milliseconds. And we're using 7. So the mini map is fun. We're not even using the mini map right now. So is that like an auto load? Where does that exist in the it's like in the UI? Yeah. So we do have a mini map. I have it turned off right now because it's a little broken. What's going on in there? So when we're looking at the profiler, it's this update minimap function. It's adding a little bit. It's just a little overhead. And then minimap draw enemies as well. Between the two, right? Wait, how is this? I mean, this is like 9 mil. This is larger than this number. I'm assuming that the time here is taking into account the 600 calls, right? 600 calls adds up to this? Yes. Because otherwise it would be 600 milliseconds, and that's not what we're seeing over here. So what is update minimap and draw enemies doing? Update minimap. Calls draw enemies. What calls update minimap? Can we disable that? It's on a timer. Okay. Let us disable this to enable timer once we are ready to use the minimap. Okay. Like if we can't have 60 FPS when we're not even moving the zombies. What are we at? We're still over budget. We're at maybe even worse. We're 30 FPS. But script functions are not taking a lot of time, right? 2 milliseconds. So where is the time? Where is the time going, huh? Let's pause this and we can look at what's going on here. So frame time 40 milliseconds. It's this process time, right? Yep. What's up with the :0? Time inclusive self. What does that change? Yeah, okay. I think we went inclusive. Oh, what is process time? And why? Maybe let's change our number of zombies respawning. Let's go back. Let's go down to 100. I think 100 is probably enough. Is 100 zombies enough? At 100, can we do 60 frames per second at 100? Almost. Hold on, F3. Yeah, 60 FPS. Okay. So then the question is, well, I guess it's, let's go back to the enemy and we'll turn move and slide back on. So move and slide moves the body based on velocity. If the body collides with another, it will slide along the other body rather than stop immediately. If the other body is a character body 3D, it will also be affected by motion of the other body. Modifies velocity if a slide has occurred. Is there? Well, okay. So let's run this and see how it performs. So at 100 zombies, we get about 40 FPS. Because physics process is taking time. And it's adding to our overall time, right? do we need... There are other things we can call besides move and slide, right? So if we look at self, there's... Move and collide. Moves the body along the vector. No, we have to provide a vector path. Add stuff, apply force snap, all, cancel, clear, connect, create, disable duplicate. Get physics process delta time. Interesting. Lots of get things, global things, has, is, move and slide, move child, move and collide. I guess it is what we want to do is move and slide. Okay, let's think about this. Let's look at project settings. Physics, 3D. Is there... Hey! Run on separate thread. On. Close. Restart. Now that has implications if we're doing certain things that might be problematic. But... Turn on our FPS monitor. Okay, that didn't help too much. Why don't I, why can't I click things now? What did I break? Oh. Okay. Okay, that works. But I can't collect the scrap or kill the zombies. Anyway. So... FPS, huh? Let's turn off the profilers and clear errors. Stop the game and start the game. Yeah, I can't click the zombies anymore. Interesting. Why? Handle enemy click. Oh. Handle enemy click. Space state is inaccessible right now. Wait for iteration or physics process notification. So this is the thing that is broken because now the physics engine is running in a separate thread. Control P, main.gd. 64. Oh, that's exactly where I am, isn't it? 64. So force recast update. Can't do that, I guess. Handle enemy click on 64. Yep. Parameter DSS is null. Something internal in it. Yeah, same thing. So anytime we click, that doesn't work. Because of that setting that I just changed. So can't do that. And it didn't improve performance anyway, so whatever. We have jolt physics turned on, which is good. Godot Physics 3D is Godot's internal 3D physics engine. Jolt Physics is alternative physics engine that is generally faster and more reliable. Yes. And then there's a bunch of other settings that I'm not going to mess with. There's no like top level physics. Jolt Physics 3D. There are settings. Areas detect static bodies, generate all kinematic contacts, penetration stop, speculative contact distance, lots of settings. Motion queries, collisions, joints, limits, common, physics ticks per second, 60. Number of fixed iterations per second. This controls how often physics simulation and physics process methods are run. Only read when the project starts. Only physics common max physics steps per frame. Controls the maximum number of physics steps that can be simulated each rendered frame. The game will appear to slow down if the rendering FPS is less than 1 over max physics steps per, so 1/8 of physics ticks per second. Okay. Okay, I don't see anything obvious that's like, change this and things will be better. At least... Okay, so if we do this, yay, I can interact with the world again. So that's good. Sadly, I mean, it'd be one thing if having on a separate thread addressed our FPS issues. It doesn't. FPS is almost 60. I wonder, so we definitely have some zombies that are like stuck in the ground and stuck onto each other. I wonder if that like constant collision is maybe a problem for the physics engine. Like they're just like stuck in a tangle on each other, and that's a problem. See, because we're at like 60 FPS. Now this is a problem that we should do something about. Like the zombies shouldn't be like, it's my turn, waiting in line. I mean, this is how you think about zombies, right? Queuing up for brains. Yeah, I feel like it may just be our spawning itself that is causing the issues. You know, let me try one thing. Let's go into the wave, and we're gonna change this so that we do spawn interval of like 3 seconds, duration very long, and then the number of zombies is, let's go up to like 300. So zombies will start spawning in. They'll just take a little bit longer to spawn in. And so they will be hopefully not as stuck on each other. They'll have a chance to like pull themselves out of the... Honestly, that spawning where it's literally like pulling themselves out of the ground is not intentional, but I kind of like it. If we could have some like little bit of cover, so it's like the ground is they're like digging themselves out of the ground, it would look almost intentional. Now, sadly, this is going to take a while to get up to a similar number of zombies. But if we look at the FPS as stuff is loading in, I'm imagining what we're going to see is that it'll be fine. Well, this has been good as an exercise to figure out how to look at performance issues, real or imagined. He's a very tough survivor. Oh, they're stacking up now. I think part of this is because oh, there we go. Okay. Just the way the pathfinding is working, they're all trying to get to one spot. And they don't pathfind around each other. Maybe they could. Oh, game over. Fortunately, I think the spawner will continue to spawn enemies. Now, this won't... You know, the other thing I could do is I could just make the spawn area bigger. And that will also accomplish what I was trying to accomplish. So let's make this tiny again. And let's just make the spawning area bigger. That should work, right? Well, that... it didn't help. Okay. But if I do like 100, is 100 fine? Is 100 enough zombies? So yeah, we have well above 60 FPS. It seems fine. This guy is a little stuck. Yeah, you can see as they kind of like get here into this choke point, the FPS starts to kind of suffer a bit. The zombies have to collide with each other, though. We have to have that. And with obstacles and stuff, or it won't look right. And I'm fine with them, like, swimming on top of each other, too. I think that's kind of funny. This is not great.
It's an idea, Uncle Ben.
Maybe they should have a little bit of bounce. Like, they should bounce off each other. Can we do that? Where is our enemy? That's not a collision shape thing. That's maybe... Can we do that on the character body? Maybe safe margin should be larger. Yeah, so maybe this should be bigger. Let's change this by an order of magnitude. It helps if I actually change it. Order of magnitude, and run this. How does that change things? Better or worse? That zombie is gonna fall off the bridge. Nope. Maybe better. What if we go even bigger? I think we might have to restart to see that. What's this look like? So because they all have different initial locations, they do have separate paths, but they do converge, right? Because they're all trying to get to one place, and so they're all like, I want to go here to be able to get there. Is there a way to add some noise to the path that's generated so that we don't have this queuing behavior? I mean, I kind of like it as a, like, for tower defense, right? The enemies are like pathfinding. You build defenses, you build, you know, your turret, and you can route, and you have a little bit of predictability for that. Ignore the flying zombies. All right, there's 100. We're 60 FPS-ish. The zombie has given up. Yeah. I don't know that safe margin has actually done anything, honestly. Navigation agent settings? Oh, there you go. Pathfinding algorithm is A-star. To answer your question, Brainless, from before, this is where that's set. There's only one option. Path post-processing. The path post-processing applied to the raw path corridor found by pathfinding algorithm. So corridor funnel applies a funnel algorithm to the raw path corridor, so results in shortest path possible inside the path corridor. Edge centered centers every path position in the middle of the travel navigation mesh polygon edge. This creates better paths for tile or grid-based layouts. And then none returns the raw path corridor. So I'm curious, like, if we change this to none, simplify path. Interesting. What is... Okay, let's just try things. Ooh. So we get a noisier path, right? But it's still a path that converges, which is not going to be helpful for us. And honestly, kind of looks weird. Like the zombie's gonna go there, and he's gonna turn there, and he's gonna, yeah, kind of weird. Is that so? What does simplify epsilon does? Path simplification amount in world units. 1. Probably have to restart to see the difference there. Okay. I see a difference. If I do 5. Yeah. Then it's very straight line. And this does mean that we get less convergence because it is, yeah. Because we have these different initial paths that get to a different location. And so it has less steps to attempt to converge the path into one. Better or worse? What is the if we go here, I mean the collision shape on the zombie, it could be narrower, right? It could be like this. I don't mind the arms overlapping. And maybe then more zombies can fit side by side on the bridge. I mean the bridge, like this is, you know, it's not super critical. This is just something I threw together to have, like, so we can see what the pathfinding does. There we go. Go forth and destroy. What are you doing over here? Look at these guys. Ah. What are they doing? They're all very insistent. Is there something we can do to make the agents recalculate paths? Oh, I didn't want to restart. So if we look at the navigation agent, paths desired different distance. Yeah. Avoidance debug. Like, we don't have avoidance turned on, and that's fine. I'm fine with all this. I feel like there should be something where we can say, hey, can you recalculate your path? Like, I know you thought this was the way. I guess we can test that actually without having to make any code changes, right? So let's let this run for a little bit until we get some clumps. Like, I thought we were gonna get that. Like these guys, what's going on here? Well, this guy's stuck in the world, and so hasn't been able to like get himself out, and so these guys are stuck behind him. But if I place anything, yeah, that immediately causes repathing. So maybe I should just do that recalculation. You're having fun. On a timer, even if you're not placing obstacles. Unless I can do it agent per agent. Okay, let's take a look at what we can call on the agent. So let's go enemy GD. We will, let's see, navigation agent. What methods are there? Connect, create tween, disconnect, distance to target, duplicate, emit signal, find things, get things. Get path 2, has, is, move child, notification, notify, print, propagate property, queue free, remove, replace, request ready, reset physics interpolation, RPC, set, update configuration warning. Okay. There's a signal waypoint reached. What is request ready? Request ready to be called again. Okay, we don't need that. I might just look at the docs. Distance to target, duplicate, emit signal, get node, get path. Let's get path return. A node path? Oh, yeah, like not a navigation related thing at all. That's interesting. So back out of that, let's go to update navigation. So navigation agent get next path position returns the next position in the global coordinates that can be moved to, making sure that there are no static objects in the way. If the agent does not have a navigation path, it will return the position of the agent's parent. The use of this function once every physics frame is required to update the internal path logic of the navigation agent. So yeah, we're doing that. Yes, and we're handling this, where if this is returning true, we are not calling get next path position anymore. Is there a way to encourage it? The path only updates when the target position is changed or the agent requires a repath. How do I tell it? How do we make it recognize that it requires a repath? We can force that by rebaking the nav mesh. I don't want to though. Use the intended get next path position once every physics frame to receive the next path point for the agent's movement, as this function also updates the internal path logic. I assume when it says this, it means this, not this. Path max distance. Maximum distance agent is allowed away from the ideal path to the final position. Path max distance. Do we change 5 meters? What if we change to 10? how does that affect things? Interesting. Why is it now pathing over there? Well, because the agents are here, and it's decided that's the path it should go. I think that more frequently I'm forcing the nav mesh to recalculate, the less dramatic the changes are. Okay. That's fine. So that's not something we would do at the enemy, on the enemy node, right? That's something we need to do maybe on the level. Or what? How are we? How do the signals work for the I guess it's in the main script, isn't it? The handle for the navigation, excuse me, region. Do I want to? We'll just introduce a timer. Let's add a export. Add an export group for not for references. Navigation. Yes, navigation rebake interval. Every 5 seconds seems, I don't know. Rebake navigation mesh periodically. Sure. Then we can have a function. Why would we do this and not just pass a reference to rebake navigation mesh? Okay. So, if I run this, how does that change things? So what we should see every in seconds, main TSCN, there we go. Every 5 seconds, apparently, is that the pathing will change like that. 3, 2, 1. Now this is still a lot of zombies. It's more than what I would spawn at one time from one spawner in practice. So this is still, again, very exaggerated. And of course, if we build obstacles, that also changes, that tells it to rebake instantly. But what I'm hoping this will do is this will avoid some of these issues we have. Like, what's going on with these guys? I think one of them is stuck on the bridge. I think that maybe the oh yeah, we probably have not. We don't have a detailed enough collider on the bridge. Oh, game over. All right. Well, somehow it's been another hour. So we're going to pause here for a couple minutes. Twitch is going to run some ads. I'll be right back. And we'll continue on probably with some like level design stuff. Enough of this debug.